fill me in. I don't know what that better means.
Oh, we
We'll
started
talk it
already,
out.
huh? We started already.
We'll talk about it off cam.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
thanks.
Actually,
Mm.
no, we already started. So actually, this Mr. Vernie, who's by the way the owner of AXYZ BPOs and
Okay.
uh, the what do you call your gym? What do you call your
AXYZ backyard gym.
I think Vernie has a with the XYZ. He has this
Yes.
parang ano tawag dito? What's the term? I'm sorry. I just came out from a webinar, so my mind is still ano.
All
Anyway,
good.
so welcome Vernie
Thank
to
you.
Business Made Simple.
Thank
yeah?
you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Actually, well, don't be too thankful. Again, no one watches this podcast, so
It's all good.
except
It's
for a few of
still
our
an
Not
experience for me.
patrons.
not yet. Not
We
yet
do
that
this.
many, but
We do this for
will
fun.
be there. Yeah.
So actually, behind Mr. Vernie, we were talking about with Mr. Vernie earlier. Actually, with the podcast we just released today, I was telling Mr. Vernie how like we've been hearing from all our clients and friends and coworkers
Mm.
how this COVID quarantine has affected their lives. I was just telling him like our other client and friend who had a restaurant and a school for special needs, and I don't and the restaurant she's adapting it by making it a takeout deli, right?
Yep.
But the school, she's still trying to figure that out because she's teaching her advocacy is special needs kids, and she's not sure how she can do that. You, how have you been hit, especially with your gym? I noticed it's a beautiful gym. It
Thanks.
looks like.
Most of my equipment. I was not, or I didn't even get a chance to open it. The soft opening was supposedly back on March 24, but 2 weeks before that, we got into lockdown. So my gym is
Gosh,
not operational. Most of the equipments that I have right now are, what do you call this, are secondhand because the brand new items were not delivered. It's still stuck in Manila in
Oh, wow.
QC. Yeah,
where they
so
stuck in the
in the
docks in
warehouse.
customs in their
No, and
warehouse.
yep.
But
So yeah.
I noticed Vernie
Hmm.
so we're friends in Facebook no? So
Yep.
I noticed that you have classes even though you haven't opened yet or officially opened, but
Yes. Fortunately, I was able to hire 2 trainers before the lockdown, and then of course my mindset was, how am I supposed to feed them? So I know a few colleagues, like example, the head doctors in Batangas. I'm able to help them by giving them a stress reliever. They go to my gym along with their assistants, and then I don't charge them anything. They only pay for the trainers. So instead of paying like 300, 500, they only pay the trainers for like 75 or 100 pesos. And then on top of that, 90% of my employees at the call center are working from home. So the other 2 or 3 VAs are working out here. Like I told to James, where I am is my office. So right now, that's why you're seeing the background. I mean, you're seeing the punching bags at my back because every time I'm stressed out, I just stand up, get some weights, or just punch the bags or do anything.
I have to give credit to you also. I'm actually kind of very touched by all these other stores, by these other employers, including you now, that are trying to keep things running. Being conscious, especially this seems like they're prime motivators. You don't want to like leave people stranded without a job,
Yep,
without a place to stay, without any resources during this COVID. Because who's gonna hire him? Who's gonna hire them, right? These
exactly.
jobs this time, and kind of like toughing it out. And I know you're probably paying salaries to your trainers, even though you
Yep.
don't really have customers. So I gotta
Vernie's
you.
really generous because I noticed when the Taal volcano erupted, he was very active in
Oh
relief
yeah,
efforts.
organizing. Yeah, organizing the
Yeah,
relief
so I
efforts.
think
Trying to
it
be
comes out.
generous.
It comes out. It's natural for him to help people.
Actually, funny you said that 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, my mind was with them, with the Taal
Mm-hmm.
volcano victims and Agoncillo specifically, and then they even messaged me. They were like, "Sir, tulungan niyo po kami. Wala na po kaming makain dito." So I called
Oh,
them.
no.
I asked their situation. I mean, my God, if you could only see their faces. I went there personally, and then I checked on them. Ang ulam na lang nila, I mean, what they're eating right now is like malunggay. And then kamoting kahoy, that's very hard na it's not, in my opinion, it's not even
Mm.
edible. So fortunately, I was able to organize a small group, and then they were able to donate a few, and then, I mean, pledged a few, and then we were able to feed like 200 families after a week
Wow.
after
Oh,
I
that's
went
good.
back there. I mean, it's just crazy. Especially here in Batangas, we had the Taal volcano eruption, and then it's not even done yet, and then here we are with the COVID thing.
How are they adapting with the Taal volcano? Did it quite, I mean, was there anything else that happened after that initial eruption evacuation efforts?
It's still pending because, example, the people who lived on that island, they were transferred to different locations, and then right now, I know 1,400 persons are living somewhere in Talisay in an abandoned building. So they need to adjust there. And then I know somewhere in, I forgot the name of the place, somewhere in Talisay as well, or in between Talisay and Tanawan, they just place some tents. And then in Agoncillo, where I named it the Sunken Village, they were adopting, like, example, a few houses there were like adopting 3 or 5 families. So everything is on pending right
Wow.
now, and the crazy stories are some were given 3 to 5,000 pesos. Some they still haven't received it up to this day. So
You
yeah,
mean the social amelioration, the SAP?
yeah, yep. Even though based on the news, it was already given for like they allotted 200 something billion. But if I were, I mean, I spoke to them 3 weeks ago. They still haven't received anything. And then another thing right now with the COVID-19, with the SAP na naman, they were supposed to be given like 5 to 7,000 pesos. And then if you were to interview them, I posted it on my Facebook na, oh, bunutan na lang daw po kami dito, whoever's going to receive that. I'm like, what? So yeah, it's crazy. If
It's a little bit disheartening. That part is a little bit
yep.
disheartening.
Mhm.
We have in some of my coworkers, uh, the uh, the government's supposed to give them like groceries and cash,
Mhm.
right? Uh, the efforts have been mixed. There have been some good parts. Some people have received like one bag of groceries every week. That's the best one, somewhere in Marikina. But there are others also in Marikina who have gotten like one or two only bags of groceries. Uh, in someone who lives nearby, she said that she's only gotten one, and I said, "This so everyone gets one." Apparently, there's like I don't know if this is good or bad. Maybe this is the only way they can do it. They have a bag of groceries, and they kind of supposedly target the ones who need it more. Maybe they
Mhm.
don't have as much. I don't know, of course, the whole story. But she said she did get a couple bag of groceries, and but she knows like some people get more, and maybe because they just need it more. I don't know, or maybe they know the people giving it out.
Well, that's the idea, or that's our target, but it's pretty hard to distinguish who needs it more because when I asked for help, they were like, oh, bakit bibigyan yan? Eh, kita mo yung bahay sementado. That's the most common thing that they
Mm,
would see on my post. I'm like, okay, yeah, sementado, the house, pero do you even know how many families are living there right now because they adopted the ones who were living in that island? They
exactly.
don't know those. They don't know that.
That's actually what my friend said. I asked her, well, do you think that's fair? She said,
Mhm.
no, definitely not, because she said she needs to eat too. She has a kid
Mhm.
also. She has a family. So I don't know. It's one of those tough things. Even this whole quarantine, we were talking around how long should be extended. On the one side, I feel like yes, we should flatten the curve. We don't want people to get sick and die,
Yes.
especially those who are vulnerable to it. On the other hand, I don't know what. the people without jobs, the people who are minimum wage earners,
Yes.
we don't know how they're gonna survive. We want them all to survive, right? I don't know this answer.
Do you talking about
Mhm.
the ECQ being lifted
Extension,
on May 15, right? I spoke to
maybe.
I I have an advisor who works is a frontliner. He's a radiology technician in a hospital in Mandaluyong, and he said that it hasn't the curve hasn't flattened. In fact, there are more cases now in their hospital, and
Yep.
he's a
It's
front
not even close.
he's a frontliner. He hasn't been tested yet. I think majority of the people in the hospital haven't been tested yet. So he's a frontliner. It's been almost 2 months already, and it's crazy.
Do they not have testing kits? Enough testing kits here in the Philippines? I've heard my son
Nope.
complaining about that.
There are two things right now. Last month, I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to disclose this in the interview. Pero in general,
No,
in
Sige, in
general.
general na lang. In
we
general na
only
lang.
have a few listeners, so don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. No one watches us. No
So,
one watches this. No
so
one.
last month,
Oh, you changed your tune, Gabby.
so rumors. I will put it as rumors. We receive a few thousand testing kits last month, but the accuracy was only 30 to 40%. So that's
Oh.
why we need to disregard it. So walang kwenta siya in short. And then um, I had a few friends selling it for an X number of amount. But after that happened, they told me, okay, never mind, Vernie. It's useless
What's the
because the
test called?
accuracy.
What's what's the test called?
I forgot the name of the testing kit, and it
I'm
was
sorry.
cheaper.
Was it approved by by FDA?
Nope,
Obviously, I don't think so. No.
nope, no.
Okay.
And then right now, we have another batch na it's more reliable, which is approved by the FDA.
Okay.
Pe-
Is it the rapid
Pero
testing kit? Rapid testing kit, is that the one, or
I
there are
for,
two tests, eh? The rapid testing and then the other one I forgot the name.
I'm not sure of the names, pero right now I know we have 3 or 4 testing kits, and the prices.
Okay.
Example from last month, it was only like 1,000 to 1,500. But right now, the testing kits are like 8 to 12,000 pesos.
What?
And
I think the cheaper one is from UP. I think the UP testing kit is like 1,500 or 1,800.
no, it came from
That's
China.
the cheapest.
It came from
The,
China.
okay.
The cheaper one that I'm talking about, and then the
Okay.
more expensive one right now. They're telling me na the accuracy is around 80 to 90 something percent. And then diba, there are 2 tests that needs to be done. One in the nostrils and then the other one in the here yata.
Throat.
I'm not
Throat.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Pero yeah, that's what they are doing right now. And again, rumors. That's why we are having a higher case, especially for the past few days, because they started the mass testing in somewhere in Manila. I forgot where. Somewhere in NCR. That's why we are supposed to expect the increase of the COVID cases. And then what else?
Did you take the test? Have you taken
Me?
the test? Yes.
Nope.
Because you have no. You don't want to find
No.
out.
I don't want. I don't think I'm ready, because
I
it's
would
really
take
a no.
if it's available, I would take the test.
What if you find out you have COVID and then you're fine? Then
And
maybe
then
you're
isolate
asymptomatic.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
and
isolate
then
yourself,
isolate yourself.
and then
Yeah,
afterwards you have nothing to worry about anymore.
correct.
Maybe.
At least you don't expose your loved ones or
Yeah.
even the vulnerable ones,
People.
so you don't
Yep.
expose them.
Well, I've actually heard like maybe I shouldn't talk about this because people say you're not a doctor. Like the asymptomatic rate is anywhere between 5 and 70%. I've seen different studies. So anyway, maybe we should go back to Mr. Vernie here. So Mr. Vernie, you have your backyard AXYZ backyard gym. But before that, and your backyard gym, it looks beautiful behind you. It looks
Thank
actually
you.
it looks kind of brand new from here. Uh, Effectively brand new because no one's really
Hmm. Yep.
hasn't been really subjected to wear and tear and usage. And I think you're also I've seen your videos. I think you're also an aficionado yourself. You yourself are one of your best customers. I've seen you punching and
Yes.
kicking the bag.
I try to work out at least 2 to 3 times a day. So far since COVID or since lockdown, I lost like 24 pounds, and then I'm still planning to lose like another 20 or so.
So Vernie,
Yes.
while on ECQ, did you lose weight or did you gain weight?
While in ECQ, I lost 24
Yeah.
pounds.
Oh wow,
Yeah, from the
good job.
gym.
Yep, because of the gym. Yes.
But is your
Trying to work
Yeah,
out two
go
to three
on.
times a day.
okay?
And I'm trying to make a
Is
point
you
to everyone that they don't. Yep, sorry. No,
no go
like
ahead.
I always tell them, I don't try. I mean, I never, what do you call this, minimize on what I ate. I mean, I still binge or splurge, especially I'm like stressed out 3 to 4 times a week. So I still eat a lot.
So is your what do you call this BPO or outsourcing business still operational?
Yes. I lost 4 clients, unfortunately, but so far we're okay.
Okay.
90% of my VAs are working from home. And then currently, I'm actually, for fortunately, I'm still proud to say that we're still hiring at this moment.
Oh wow,
So
very good.
this COVID? I know this COVID quarantine is bad for your gym, but has it been
Yes.
good, bad, or neutral for your BPO business?
It's actually a kind of bit of both because I mean, even though I'm stressed out, I always want to see the positive side of it. I want to make a statement to my clients that even though I had the Taal volcano eruption, we're still here working operational 24/7. And then same thing with the COVID-19. Yes, I lost 4 clients, but not because of us. It was because of COVID-19. And again, we're 24/7 operational. So, and
So
then, yep.
no, go on, please.
And the other thing that I admire the most is that I was able to learn lots of things on where our strengths are and where we need to focus.
You know what? I'm very happy with this. I'm not happy with this quarantine in general, obviously, but I'm happy with one part that our internet and our electricity and our water has been mostly reliable.
Yes.
That my coworkers in our company, and then it sounds like with your company, and with Gabby, with your company, right? You have all these conferences, right?
Every
You're
day,
attending all these webinars, right?
every
No,
day,
but that's good
even
news,
on a
right?
weekend.
But everyone's working from home right now, and the
Yes.
internet is stable enough that we're able to do this, that we're able to do this podcast. I remember starting when we started Technomancer 2012, the internet would never be this stable. That I would never, like,
I
half the
know.
people would not be able to work from home half the time, right? It's like, why
It
aren't you
will
working from
crash.
home? Yeah, the internet's down.
I actually noticed that
You
also.
know,
So
right?
yeah.
That's amazing
Mm.
that it's able to keep
Especially
up.
here in the province, we have mountains
Exactly.
here.
Exactly. So PLDT or whoever that is, kudos to you
Yeah,
guys.
PLDT,
Yeah,
Globe, Smart.
yeah.
Yeah,
PLDT Globe,
those.
it's working. Whatever they're doing, it's working. And not only that, so we're able to work, and everyone's able to watch YouTube and Netflix. Right? People are binge watching
I
Netflix.
know
Uh,
the K-pop thing. I'm like,
yeah. And the internet's able to keep up. That's amazing. And
Correct.
I'm a bit old. No, am I old? No, I'm older than a lot of my coworkers. I keep telling them that I lived through the time when during summer like this, it's so hot right now, right? The so many people working from home, and then the electricity would fail because everyone's working from home. The transformers would get overloaded, right?
mm,
But it's able to
Actually,
keep
I
up
I I
mostly.
have a coworker who lives in Makati, and then their experience, and I have another one who lives in Mindoro, and then a friend of mine lives in Pampanga. Their electricity is kind of unstable recently. I don't know why, but here in
Oh,
my place, it's okay.
I think it's because I noticed that electricity tends to fail when it becomes hot. I think because maybe some circuits get overloaded from the heat.
That I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. So, Mr. Vernie, how long have you had your BPO business?
Almost 3 years now. Turning three this 16th of October.
And you started working from a BPO company, right? And then you
Yes.
branched out by
I was
yourself. How,
yes, I was a job hopper. Ako yung ayaw ng mga company.
You're
Or
just,
in two to
you know,
three months.
you're just an entrepreneur. You have an entrepreneur mindset,
I
right?
have no idea. I have no idea. What my mindset back then, 2009, 2010. Okay, this company's hiring and then they're offering like 25 to 50,000 job. Signing bonus. Okay, I'll apply to that. After I get the signing bonus, oh, this company's offering another 50,000. So I'm like, okay. Then after 4 months, oh, that company's still offering another 50,000. I'm like, yeah, why not? So
I
yeah,
actually wondered about that because I always see the sign-on bonus, new iPad, new laptop, 50,000
yes,
pesos cash. So is that why everyone job hops from? Because I
yes.
think I would,
Pero
wouldn't you, Gabby?
yes, pero right now they're smarter. Back then kasi, example, if I passed the interview, they on my first salary they would give me my 30 or 50,000 pesos signing bonus. But right now they're smarter. Okay, for 50,000 they will do that in a staggered payment. So first quarter maybe they'd give you like 20, and then second quarter maybe another 20, something like that.
But
Same
even
thing for
then,
the iPod.
Mm.
but even then you're only incentivized to stay for the first 2 quarters. You'll probably still job hop
Well,
again.
at least the risk is lesser, I guess. Unlike before na 50,000, okay, just one snap, gone.
Mm.
But
And
if
then
you were able to stay in the next 6 months, you would be thinking, okay, is it really worth it for me to move to a different call center? Especially nowadays, the offer ain't that big anymore. Back then, they're offering like starting salary, 27, 35, 40, 50. Right now, the
wow,
starting salary is like what, 12 in
Oh
Makati,
wow.
12.5 to 17,000, and that's
wait,
already Makati area.
why did
I
it
don't
go
know.
down so drastically?
Because of the competitors. Lots and lots of call centers
Supply.
right
There's
now.
a lot of supply.
Yep, supply and demand. And then
Oh,
there's all, and I already saw the trend maybe 5 years ago. Example, sa February, March, April, their starting salary would be lower because those are the months na maraming nag-graduate. And then they would kick it back up. Increase it again starting on June, July, and August. Kasi na-filter na nila kung sino yung mga magagaling by March. And then
yeah.
same thing on December, tanggalan na naman yan because most of the employees are just going to be waiting for their 13th month or bonuses.
Wait, Tanggalan or they quit? Sounds like you're making it sound like they quit then because they got their bonuses.
Yep, sorry, mag-quit. They're just waiting for their salary. So mass hiring na naman si mga BPO centers ng December and
Question:
January.
Why is it a trend in the BPO industry?
Example in Comcast. Comcast is very sikat na if you're okay, so Comcast ka, grabe hassle dyan. And then, ano lang yan, mass hiring lagi because most of the call center, most of the agents would be just like robots. Kasi customer service ka lang eh. Mostly complaints and then
So it's
renewal.
toxic.
Yes, it's very toxic. And then you're taking calls for like 100 or 200 calls a day. I've never tried it, but I have lots of friends who kept telling me those types of stories.
But there are
What?
a lot of BPOs. I noticed that, for example, you work in a toxic account. They give out a
Mhm.
lot of incentives.
Yes. Here.
So you want, for example, if you are an agent, you work in a toxic account, and then you're given a lot of benefits, then a lot of
Yep.
incentives. Would you not stay, or
It's case to case basis because I myself personally experienced that. That is your moment or that is your time to shine, if I were to say so.
mm,
I used to work for Energy Watch, so that's an Australian account. And then what we do is sell electricity because in Australia, electricity, gas are pretty expensive. So what we try to do is convince you to switch over to example Globe. Say Globe is Meralco. or Meralco na lang so that it won't be confusing. So I'm gonna tell you, hey Gabby, you need to switch from Meralco to this because their rates or their per kilowatt per hour is much cheaper. So that would be the hard selling. Then I need to call like 180 to 230 something calls per day. And those are not automatic dialers. I really need to call them.
Okay.
So that is where I shine. Na I was able to do like 14 to 17 sales per day. And the usual sale
Galing.
per day is only one or two. So I
Galing.
took that as an advantage. So um, in less than 6 months, I did very good. Na I was the highest sales agent here in Asia, and then they promoted me as a team leader. So it's
Did
case to
they?
case basis. Kasi example, if you were to do that every day, that's very tiring.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine you're going to the office. Okay, magtatawag na naman ako. Shit, 800. Sorry for the word. 180 to 200 calls per day na naman, and then wala naman akong benta pa. And then
I
like you
actually,
mentioned,
yeah, go
and
ahead.
then like you mentioned, the perks, andun talaga. Example, I was making 14 to 17 sales per day. 5 lang per day. You're able to have like 100 to 500 de pesos. Depende kung saang account mo siya nabentahan. So yeah, the money was
Wow.
really good compared na nung nasa management na ako. Pero again,
So it's
would you be
actually
able to do that for 1 year?
so it's actually better as an agent money wise, but it was just more. It wore on you the
Yes.
repetitiveness of it.
Mhm.
Could they not have rotated you around so you don't get worn out? You don't get burned out?
If you were to ask me, example, nasa management na ako, and then I was pretty lax na parang, okay, so I'm just gonna do this and do that, checking emails. And then I were to look back, okay, is the money really worth it? Parang, hindi eh.
So
So you're
Parang,
when
happy
you
in
I
were
mean, for
management.
me, ah.
when you were doing sales, did you also have
Mhm.
like a announcement? Congratulations, Vernie!
Yes!
Make
Yes! Three
make
claps! Yay!
woo!
Yes. Yes. We all had those. Then they were
I
announced in the emails and the floor. Yes.
What was your training for to what made you good in sales? Did you take a sales entrepreneurship somewhere?
No, I
I was just
guess
inborn.
I don't know what happened. I guess I was pretty I'm a manipulative type of guy. I don't know. When I was in when I was in the US, I mean when I was in the US, Wilson's Leather, I was also a top salesman. So I'm not sure. I have this thing with people now. I'm able to sell you anything, but then you would realize it once you get home, and then you will return the product next day.
How long were you in the U.S.? You were selling leather shoes or something?
Wilson's leather, so all types of leather, mainly jackets. 80% would
Okay.
be jackets.
How
Um,
long were you doing that? Few
almost two
months?
or 3 years.
Oh, you've been doing it for a while. Okay.
Yes, I was in the US for almost 7 years. Yeah, that.
So you grew up in the U.S. Did you say
No, I
that?
was thrown in the US.
Why'd
I was
you?
really a I was really a pasaway sa father ko. So he told me, okay, we need a break from you. You flunked at school. You're not going to school. I'm seeing you in the computer shops. Okay, doon ka muna sa nanay mo. So he threw me in the US.
But I noticed that I noticed a lot of successful businessmen. Your story strikes a chord with me because I know a lot of successful business people who were not the most academically inclined in school. Like they would be the troublemakers, the ones
Yes,
you
Bullies, the
would,
bullies.
or the
I'm not a
bullies.
bully, but
No, one of
I'm.
the
No, no,
one of the
not
categories,
you.
one of the possibilities,
Pero a
right?
troublemaker, yes. I was in jail in the US for a lot.
What?
Even for, yeah, the longest I've been in jail in the US, siguro almost 2 months. I told you
Really?
yes, I'm a
You're a
crazy guy.
troublemaker.
Yes, very. 21, 22 years old, yes.
But I have to emphasize this for our listeners. Even though you were a troublemaker, I think deep inside, I know you personally. We play board games together. I think
Mhm.
you're a good guy, and the fact that you want to provide employment to your employees right now who maybe don't
Mhm.
really don't have a lot to do, especially in the gym. and the Taal volcano, I think you're a good person. Maybe you just have a hard time conforming. Is
I
that it?
guess uh, I guess they are wondering why was I in jail. I love cars, so I love to speed. I like car chases. So cops are chasing me in the highway, and then they would just get a snapshot of me, and then after 2 or 3 days, okay, so he's living in that house, and then they would be. y- I wake up in the morning, and then there would be like 5 squad cars, and they're
Oh
all
my
giving this to
god.
me. But that's not a gun; it's a pepper spray. So yun,
Uh,
again, that's
did
how I
they?
get in trouble.
So you were sent to the U.S. because you were out of control. You were a bad boy, and then you did the
I
same
was
thing in
sent
the
to
U.S.
Yes, I was out of control because I was a computer addict.
Okay.
So, laging, oh, tara, dun tayo sa computer shop. Sagot ko kay lahat. Yeah, so Counter-Strike, StarCraft,
So
then, ayun.
why did you come back to the Philippines then? Why did you
2000,
choose the no why?
2009, it was a recession. So, um, I was working in Wilson's Leather, and then they offered me a job in Mall of America. And that's like 16-mile drive for me. And it's not worth it, especially kasi sa Minnesota, it's like 6 months snow eh. And then you have to travel every day 16 miles. So I guess it's not that worth it for me. So I went back to the Philippines. Parang bakasyon lang sana here. I was planning to go back to the States. And then my father convinced me to work for our company, but it did not end well. That's why I switched to call center. Ayun.
Mm. And then you found your calling in sales.
Yes, in sales, yes.
Okay. So how did you branch out? How do you branch out from being an employee in a call center and now suddenly you have your own call center?
We moved here in Batangas, and I've been residing here for almost 5 years now. So for me, the travel time from Batangas to Mandaluyong back then, it's not that worth it. Kasi 2 to 3 hours every day. I mean, one
Yeah.
way lang yun. So 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. So I'm like, okay, there's this new thing that's called virtual assistant. Let me try that instead. And then, if you could recall, I told you that story. So I was able to. He's actually still my client right now, but aside from the COVID, nag-stop lang. So he's my first client. Second client as a VA, and then he told me na on the interview, okay, how much salary do you want for a virtual assistant? I gave him an impossible number. Kasi for me, I thought I flunked the interview. Was- One of the questions was like, okay, so you're an IT guy. What's this? What's that? What's this? And what's that? I'm like, I don't know. But out of nowhere, I aced the interview. And then, okay, so how much do you want for the salary? I'm like, loloko ako nito. Okay, I gave an impossible number.
Mhm.
And then after 2 or 3 weeks, he gave me the full month salary already. I'm like,
Wow.
catch lang to. So, kasi December yun eh. So I'm like, man,
Right.
it's just bullshitting me or something like that. And then come January, binigyan niya pa ako ng bonus. I'm like, okay, so this is for real. This is cool.
And
And
a
then the other
bonus.
thing is like, yeah, for a 9 hour shift, my work was only 1 hour or 2 hours at the very most. So I
Yeah.
have all the time. Imagine for that amount of salary, and then I'm just working 2 hours every day. I have the liberty to do everything. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool for me. So I started a gym business back then. Kasi it was really my passion. I really wanted the gym. But I was only earning like 1,500 to 2,500 a month. And I got
Wow.
very tired. But I love it. I didn't complain as much. I like my physique. I was able to train most of my colleagues. And then after 6 months, it hit me. Parang, what if I get another client? Who knows? And then I
Yeah.
would just pass it to my friend, and then he will work for me. But I'm gonna tell my client I will be working for him, and then that amount of salary, and then I'm just gonna give him like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20,000 pesos. I don't mind. Then it worked out. So I'm like, huh, so it's working for 2 or 3 months. What if I get another two? So that's how it started
Mhm. And
for
then now
my
you
first
have
year.
and now you have an entire team and they're talking directly to
Yeah.
clients and you're mostly supervising,
Yes.
managing them.
Yep. And the beauty of it right now is that even though I have 14 VAs, I'm still able to do what I want. I mean, I still have the liberty, I still have the time. I'm able to, even with the lockdown, I'm able to go everywhere I want to go. I mean, of course, I have special accesses because I'm still providing help for our frontliners. But the convenience na I'm able, I control my own time. Ang
Well, that's a nice
stressful
thing.
lang, the stressful thing is that, of course, when you have a problem, like we were talking about the VA that I had earlier, he did some carelessness. So I had to let him go. And then it gave me, I mean, I had that realization last night na, what if I lost my second biggest client? So, oh my God, so I have to go back to my original apartment. I can't afford this building anymore. I can't afford the gym. And I'm going to lose like six heads for my current client because he's the second biggest client that I have right now. Eh.
Right, right.
So yun.
Well, I think you were telling me there were some issues earlier with the clients, but
Mhm.
I guess everyone makes mistakes. I guess, especially as long as and clients usually understand that as long as you don't do it all the time, right? Once in a while, it's
But
there's
I
humor.
guess,
Is
but
there
I
a
guess
ceiling for mistakes? Or I don't know. You both of you are owners.
we're not we're not allowed to
Is there
make
like zero, as in no mistakes?
it depends on the account. I mean, yeah, it depends on the account. Example for this particular account, if you are able to make one mistake, it's going to cost the client 215,000 pesos up to 16.5 million. Like
Wow.
on what had happened last year, I fired that VA because it cost our client 16.5 million for 22 tickets that he created.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
very fortunate na we still have that client. So same scenario happened, or a similar scenario happened yesterday, wherein my client lost 215,000 pesos. So yun nga
Yeah.
eh, one mistake. So
But
on that case, we can't afford those types of mistakes.
that's true. But also, you can't. We do programs, computer programs, and
Same thing.
uh, and then we put the programs into production. But we cannot. You cannot have a chief technology officer say there will be zero bugs. It has never happened in the history of IT. There will always be bugs. You want to try and minimize it, and if it reaches above a certain threshold, then yes, heads will roll. But you can't say zero bugs, right? All the video games you play. Have you ever played a video game with zero
Oh
bugs?
no.
Never. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
It's always going to crash one
Right,
sooner or later.
right. There's actually a story I read a while ago. There was an executive, I think it was Pepsi or Coke, I forgot what it was. It doesn't matter. That executive made a mistake and it cost his company millions of dollars. And then he was called into the CEO's office and he fully expected to get fired. The CEO asked, "Well, what did you do? What did you do wrong? And what should you have done?" And then so the executive answered that. And the CEO said, "Okay, good. Don't do it again." And the executive said,
Wow.
"Are you not going to fire me? I thought you were going to fire me." He says, "No, why would I fire you? You just got $10 million worth of training right now. And I'm sure you'll never do that again."
Wow.
$10 million. Wow.
Nice.
Diba? He just got $10
Nice.
million of training. Because if you hire someone else,
Whew.
what? That other guy won't make a mistake? You
100
just have
million.
you don't know. I'm sure you know about this. You've worked with people, right? There are probably some people you don't want to work with, right? But
Mhm.
if you have a different coworker, is it going to be entirely rosy? No, it'll just be a different set of problems. There will be some times when, yes, it's really not worth it. I don't really want to work with this person anymore at all. But in general, there's always going to be something that you don't like about some people, right? And then you just learn to work for their strengths and work around their weaknesses.
I actually like that. Actually got me into thinking. Because right now, like I said, he's on suspension, and then I'm planning to replace him. Pero I don't
Oh.
know. I'm still confused.
Well, again, you have to look at the big picture. Like, is it you do a cost benefit allowance, cost benefit analysis, right? Like, what does a person bring to the table? What does he not bring to the table? What are his liabilities? And then you also think, can will he learn? Is he learnable? Because there's some cases like there's some people I also think they really can learn certain things, and there's some who can. Some people surprise you, like you, Mr. Vernie. I'm sure if you told the police officer before, hey, you know what, I'd make a great manager, he'd be saying, yeah, right. Or put you in the
True.
squad car. You would surprise him, right?
True.
Yes.
Pero the thing is, what in addition to what he did, he deleted a few emails kasi so that no one would trace his
Trace it.
tracks.
Okay.
And we were able to check those emails na it was really deleted by him. And right
You
now I'm
will.
still waiting for an explanation from him. I still haven't received anything.
Yeah, that's different. But again, don't listen to us. You know your business more than we do, right? We're not in the.
Pero it's a good ano what do you call this?
That's
Parang it's a good
that's
eye opener.
That's a good story. I don't even know if it's true. You know, it's one of those feel-good things that I see on Facebook and says, "Oh, that's a nice story." I don't know if it's true, but it's a nice story, right? So, what do you think will? How do you think you'll adapt to this post-COVID, post-quarantine? Because even if this ECQ is over, uh, a lot of people will. I think it will still like be like the quarantine. I think a lot of people will still won't go to work. I think it's still we're not nowhere near flattening the curve, right? And a
Yep.
lot of people are working
Um
from home now. Are you gonna
I
keep doing
spoke
that?
to yes, yes and no. I spoke to 6 of my clients last night because, like I said, I had that realization. It really scared me. What if I lose another one of my biggest clients or my second biggest clients? I need to go back to the old apartment. I'm going to lose everything. And then I spoke to 6 of my clients because I was so stressed out. I don't know what to do. I need them to comfort me. And they were telling me all those positive things. Na this is the new norm, and they are right. We have the edge right now because COVID-19, and here we are, still operational 24/7. We still have 3 ISPs. 90% of my agents are working from home. If needed, I could still pick them up and then bring them here in the office. And then even though I have lots of competitors right now, but the demand is much higher as I checked onlinejobs.ph the other day. And then same thing. We have the edge. We have the experience. Kasi the higher the demand increased, okay, fine, mas marami competitors, but the experience won't be there in just a snap. I mean, we already have this experience for like what, almost 3 years, and then compared to them, especially in the real estate industry, and then right now with the real estate industry in the U.S., um, I was talking to another client na yeah, the new norm that they are telling is the virtual tour, and we were all disagreeing because even you, if I ask you, okay, would you buy that house if I would just give you a virtual tour? Of course you would still want to go to that particular house and inspect it for yourself personally.
Yes, yes.
So that's a trend in the US, virtual tour for clients who are
right
interested in buying
right
buying
now,
houses.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I
Wow.
received, let me check, I think 1,000 emails, 1,179 emails for virtual tours
Wow. I don't think
since the
I don't think we have
COVID-19.
it in here in the Philippines, right? Virtual tour for
No,
real estate properties.
I
Maybe you
don't
can be
think
the
so.
Wow.
first, Mr. Vernie.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
Maybe you can. Maybe hey, that could be a good service you offer. Like you know, there are these on the web, right? There are apartments for rent, apartments for sale. Your company could be the first to go to each apartment or house and take a virtual tour, and then they'll pay you for each tour that you take.
I'll think about it right now. It's pretty
So is
risky
it
for me to
so
go out.
it's the house that's being sold and they take a video, like a
Mhm.
360 video,
Yep.
and then you go to the bedroom and you go to the kitchen, and then
Yes.
there's just someone talking, describing the house. That's
Yep.
it. Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a 360-degree
And then
camera,
it.
Gabby. It's just a small device, like a circle right on top.
Mm.
Yep. Mga
Wow.
GoPro, mga ganun.
This thing is yeah, this thing is affecting our businesses so much. But I'm glad your BPO business is doing well. You know, and the other thing you have, Mr. Verdi, is you also obviously by providing this service to them for 3 years, you also have their trust. Like they,
Mm-hmm.
if I was a client, I would go with a company, two companies, and then maybe one slightly more expensive, but I know they can do the job because right.
Yep.
I've had different clients who got burned doing having programming done by another company. And of course, the other company might say they're cheaper, but how do they know they can actually do it, right? They actually got burnt by that
Exactly.
company,
Yep.
right? If you've been in the business around the business and you're doing it well, and they know you can do it well, then they'll most probably stick with you. How about your? How about if you're everyone's working from home, then you probably don't need such a large office anymore. Then is that what it means?
Yes and no. Kasi right now, the other thing that I planned or I'm planning and I'm currently working on is that during the daytime, since I already have the office, hopefully after COVID-19, I'm offering to local municipalities na free Excel training, free call center training. That's my plan during the daytime, and then eventually, after I get after Tesla
Tesla.
certifies me, yep, and then I could make some money out of it. But right now,
But
I
you,
need the experience.
but you know, speaking of those like that, the Tesla, the online training, I think that's a good idea. But I also saw a lot of on Facebook. Don't you see those like free webinars and how to use the software? Yeah, are you going to try and
Yes.
leverage that?
Um, if I were in the city, then yes. Pero here in the province kasi, if you can see the market here in the province, napakahirap eh. Like, right now, they're just realizing na, may ganito pala. And then,
They're not
parang,
as tech savvy.
yes. And then, I guess, for some of them, they still don't know what is a call center. Ganun
Mm,
ka-probinsya pa rin dito. And then, they would still rather go to the city na, mas okay doon kasi call center mas malaki sahod. Those kind of things.
Fernie, what you can also do is I noticed in Facebook, no,
Mm-hmm.
like this week, there's a basketball clinic via Zoom. There's
Wow.
also
really?
yeah, basketball clinic for kids via Zoom. So what you can also do with your gym, there's also one dance tutorial. This is a known dance group in Manila. They also do online dance classes. So, but you might want to also explore that with your gym.
Yep. Almost 2 months ago, March 4, I went to QC for 1 week. It's called Muay
Mm.
Boran. It's an advanced level for Muay Thai. I went there for 1 week for their training, and then I was part of
Mm.
their group. Right now, that's what they are doing. Pero I guess based on what I'm seeing, the market or the people are not ready pa rin eh. They
Mm,
really
okay.
still want to experience the hand-to-hand or personal trainer thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then what they did is that, example, if their rate is 150, they are only charging their students 20 to 50 pesos. And then, of course, if I was the student, why would I pay someone like you and I could go to YouTube? I mean, the idea is there, but I'm not sure if the
If
market
the
or
market
if
will
the
be there.
people are, yep. Maybe in a year or two, kasi dun pa lang nila ma-realize talaga na, okay, so this is the new norm and we just have to accept it. But right now, ang tao talagang, kailan ba matatapos tong lockdown?
Yeah, yeah.
They're so anxious eh, na we still haven't, or most of us still have, hindi pa rin natin natatanggap na this will be the new norm,
Are you
unfortunately.
are you able to find people there in Batangas? Because most companies, they especially BPO, especially if they want people who speak English well, they flock towards Manila, right? We have a lot of people who came from the province to Manila to
Mhm.
look for a tech job. How about you, being in where you are? Has
Same
it been easy,
problem.
hard?
Same problem like I told you before. Last year, I'm still having a hard time looking for talent. Um, for the non-voice account, of course, that's very teachable. Pero the demand right now for the voice accounts, it's very high. And then, like I said, I'm still hiring, pero wala, there's no luck.
Which
The
pays higher, the non-voice or the voice?
voice way
Yes.
higher.
But if you
Kasi
said, but if you said you can't find people, but you obviously have people, where did you find them?
mhm. For the non-voice account, I found them
Oh, non-voice.
2 years, yeah, 2 years ago. I only
Oh,
have two voice accounts right now.
oh, so it's really hard to find voice account people.
Yes. And then even if I find any, the attitude is not there. The performance ain't there. So that's
Maybe,
another problem for me.
maybe because it's a that one is very competitive. They're the ones who it's
Yep.
hard to keep them.
hmm
Uh, challenges for a
Um,
manager.
yep. One of my clients before, well, he's not my client anymore. I like his tip actually, which I still have not tried. I want to tap the schools and talk to the principals na, oh, baka meron kayong magagaling mag-English dyan, and then they could start as an OJT for me. And then if everything worked out on summer or during the nighttime, working students, baka kaya nila, then they could work for me. Kasi from there, sa school pa lang, pwede ka na makapag-filter.
Right, right. You can do
Pero
that.
yeah, I still haven't tried that, but that's a good suggestion from my client.
Mm.
Um, excuse. The only reason why he's not with me anymore is kasi he pays very stingy. Like $300 a month kagad yung ano niya. No, it's way too cheap. He knows the market sa Philippines. That's why he was able to do that. Or he was able
Yeah,
to offer that.
trying to find a bargain. But you know, the one thing I have to comment about you also, Mr. Bernie, that I've known you. We played board games a couple of times. Uh, you're very you 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 always talk about wanting to learn, and I admire that. That you
Thank you.
make yourself open to learning, to improving yourself, to like you just and you also mentioned it just now. You went to Thailand to learn a forbidden martial art. Well, not forbidden. I'm exaggerating a little bit for the audience, but you're always pushing yourself to learn and pushing yourself
Mhm.
to improve yourself, and I admire that. So
The thing about that, the negative side about that is that example, with the new people that I know. So if I were to open that, okay, sige, try natin to because right now the business is crashing. So we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to learn more. Ganyan, ganyan. Then they would look at me like, the hell are you talking about? Parang, nagawa mo, manahimik ka nga dyan. Parang, those are the types of vibes that I'm usually getting, at least 70 to 80%. That's how they would see me na parang, ang yabang mo
you're
naman, ano bang ginagawa mo? Parang, ano? I'm like,
it's like you're crazy.
I guess I'm used to it. Yes,
Why do you keep trying to do something else? You should be happy where
exactly.
you are.
Yep. They're not that open-minded. I mean, I'm happy that I was able to find a group of people who thinks like me na we're always talking about businesses. Pero you can't just help it na may makilala ka and then you'd be excited for them. You know what? I want to help you. So I want you to realize na there's more into this. We could do this. We could do that. And there would be like, manahimik ka nga. Nagawa mo. And then, or di ka nila papansinin.
Hindi,
You would
siguro
look
ano, si
dumb. I'm like,
Vernie is ano, he thinks, he plans, and he takes actions. And also, tama ba? And then you're
yes,
also a risk taker. You take
Very,
risks.
very,
very risk taker.
Yeah.
very,
Very,
So,
very.
so
very.
those people who mock you, you know, they just want to sit and they're happy where they are. And you know, unlike you have plans and then you take action. So I think that's the difference.
And I also want to say this,
Thanks.
especially for some of our audience. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. There are some people who like a lot of risk, but it's a risk. I've known a lot of people who have also lost everything. I also know a lot of people who just want, stability, and that's fine too. There's no right or wrong. Like Mr. Verdi said, he does his gym. It's not making as much money as he would like, but he's happy doing it. Isn't that what
Yep.
matters? If you're doing something that you love
Yes.
doing, and then he said, and Mr. Vernie also said that when he was working those voice accounts before in early on his career, he was making a
Mhm.
lot of money, but he was getting burnt
Yep.
out. So you choose your poison.
Yes.
Pick your
And then
poison.
also probably like if if it also helps that he, for his age, if it doesn't work out, he can still bounce back. Unlike
Yeah.
if
Yes.
you start your business like you're in your 50s, late
Yep.
40s. I mean, you could still do that, but
The
the
risk
bouncing
if it's
back and
not worth it.
so I that's
Yeah.
just my take.
Yeah, I like you mentioned that because I was listening to Jackma like 2 years
Mm,
ago. If you're in your 18s until 25 or 27, then you don't need to find a great company. You just need to find a small company wherein you could learn a lot.
mm,
And then if you're 25 and above but less than 35 or 40, then you can take all the risks that you want. But if you're like
true.
40 or 45 and higher, what you need to do is teach the new generation, something like that. That's what
Hmm.
I got the idea. I mean, that's where I got the idea is from Jackma. I like his teachings.
Uh, Wait, I'm looking something up. I agree with you guys in general, but I see so many exceptions. Oh, there. You know Alan Rickman?
No.
He was in Die Hard. He was the bad guy. He was Severus Snape in Harry Potter. He started.
Maybe I know his face. I just don't know his name.
Yes, yes. He started. He started late as an actor, and his film debut was actually 41 years old. So, I agree with you guys in general, but be an Alan
Mm.
Rickman. You can still start at 41 and be
Well,
an Academy Award winner.
KFC.
KFC, exactly. I was going to say
KFC
KFC.
guy.
Always started late. Oh
Six,
yeah, Colonel Sanders. He
60
kept failing.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
60
So,
something or 50 something.
so even if you think you might be too old already, you might be the next Alan Rickman or the next Colonel Sanders.
Mhm.
Cool.
So,
Well, yes. On that note, that was a lot of I think that's a very inspiring way to end this podcast. You shared a lot about yourself, and we're grateful for that. And you gave us a lot of insight about what the mentality of a businessman,
no, thank you.
and hopefully maybe you can inspire someone else to act crazy, and maybe it'll do maybe it'll work out for
And
them.
by the way, if probably we have viewers who want to get in touch with Bernie, want to
For me
enroll
too.
in his gym. Bernie, can you invite our viewers, if, in case they're in your area and they want to enroll in your
Sure, thank you.
gym or apply in your BPO?
BPO.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just moved here this early January. We're on the third floor, so the whole third floor I occupy this, and we're located in Cuenca, Barangay 1 National Highway. So you can't miss us. It's pretty
And you have
small.
a social media accounts where they can get in touch with you in your gym.
AXYZ Backyard Gym, Access
And
Very
Backyard Gym.
good.
BPOs. By the way, why AXYZ? What is that?
Well, it was really supposed to be like XYZ lang because my kids, Yako, Isabel, and Zendrina. Pero when I went to the BIR, ang dami na masyadong XYZ. So they suggested AXYZ. And for the feng shui, Axis. So
Oh,
Mm.
it doesn't have any address. Parang, okay, so cool, Axis. So that's why it's AXYZ.
and it's easy to spell. How do you spell your company name? AXYZ
Yep,
BPOs.
Axis.
That's pretty cool. And for anyone listening who's interested in learning about the BPO and or applying for a job, Mr. Vernie's a pretty cool boss. So if you work for him and with him, you'll get a lot of free Muay Thai and gym training. So you'll be exercising your mind and you'll be exercising your body.
Holistic,
Holistic.
That is so true.
health.
And he plays a mean game of Avalon. So magaling siya mag-bluff sa Avalon. So next time,
Thanks,
when this
guys.
quarantine is over, let's play again.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, that's it.
All right,
Anything else?
let's also invite everybody. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to our channel in YouTube. That's Technomancer. and hit subscribe and share. And of course, our Facebook page, James,
Oh
Technomancer.
yeah, no. Facebook.com/Technomancer.biz. So
All right,
find
and
us
this has
there.
been Gabby Cunyada. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
And James
Thanks,
Kim and
guys.
Have a great
Mr.
bye, Vernie. Have a
Vernie.
great weekend.
You too.
Thank
Bye
Thanks
you.
again
bye.
for the
Bye
opportunity.
bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.